Yo, what's going on today, brothers? Today I have a good video for you today. So today we are going to be going into a full explanation and overview of Bitcoin, why Bitcoin is a solid investment over cash, silver, and gold. Robert Kiyosaki, his opinion on Bitcoin. He is the best-selling author of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of my favorite books about personal finance and investing. And then we're also going to dive into the best-selling author of a Bitcoin book, the Bitcoin Standard. Furthermore, I appreciate you stopping by Brotherhood Finance. Please leave a like and subscribe as always. We're going to be having a multitude of videos out soon, so I appreciate you stopping by. But furthermore, let's just take a look at Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin I have, where Bitcoin price is going, and where we believe it's going to go. You can follow us on our social medias at Instagram, Acorns, M1 Finance, Fidelity, and Coinbase. In the top right to set up your account, you just click that in the top right, enter in your information, create your account. If you spend $100, you'll get $10 free worth of Bitcoin through this link. So please be sure to do that if you want to get into cryptocurrency assets. All right, so let's dive into my Bitcoin. So currently Bitcoin is trading at $23,000, and the two cryptocurrency assets that I advise people to buy is Ethereum and Bitcoin. And the reason I say this is because these are the most common and well-known assets to trade. All right, brothers. So one thing I want to do before we dive into what Robert Kiyosaki has to say and where Bitcoin is at now, is I just wanted to give you a quick reminder that when we first were talking about Bitcoin I think it was a couple months ago or a month ago, it was at $18,000, and I said, buy it now. It's going to rise. So currently today, Bitcoin is sitting around 23,000. If you want other information on Bitcoin and how to get started, we have a video on that, becoming a millionaire investing in cryptocurrency, so check that out for sure. But currently today, Bitcoin is trading at $23,296.20. The circulating supply is 18.6 million. Again, this is linked to my bank account. That's how I buy it. This is the total Bitcoin I own, which is $1,208.66 worth of Bitcoin. Just a little more further information on Bitcoin. So within Bitcoin, there is a total of 21 million supply. So there's 21 million Bitcoin that's ever going to be released. And within one Bitcoin, there is 100 million Satoshi. And in the next video we're about to show you with Robert Kiyosaki, he's going to go over a little more in depth about why Bitcoin is a good investment and how you can get invested in Bitcoin and how much Bitcoin he owns and where he sees it going in the future. So furthermore, let's check out this video. Let's dive into these great investors and entrepreneurs and their mindsets.
So I understand, there was a lot of fakes out there. And the reason I love Bitcoin and all this is because I think the dollar is criminal, what they're doing. The centralized bank, the Fed and the Treasury, they just keep printing more of it to solve our problems. So and that's the reason I have gold, silver, and Bitcoin, is because the Fed and the US dollar, and in my opinion, all fiat currencies, with the euro, the yen, and the peso they're shit currencies. I mean, would you agree?
You're not going to get any argument from me about that.
Yeah, I know that. My question is then, if the Fed and centralized banks come up with centralized coins, what's your opinion on that? Because that's why I'm asking. That's why I talk to guys like you. What do you think is going to happen?
I think people think that this is competition for Bitcoin, but in my mind, it's advertisement for Bitcoin. This is just them telling you what is really valuable about Bitcoin. That, hey, sign up, take our currency where the supply is up to us. We determine it at any point in time, and we can always give anybody as many as we want, and you get no say in the supply, and you can't even know how many there are. And also we get to figure out all the transactions done by you, and we can, if we don't like your Facebook posts, you don't get to eat for a month.
I like your attitude. Anyway, yeah. So if Janet Yellen was Treasury, and she was Fed, and if Biden stays in, she'll become Treasury, which is communism. When the Treasury and the Fed are one, that's centralized government. So are you saying that if Biden came out with the Biden coin, it would be a shit coin?
Yeah, I mean, we already have something very similar, which is the dollar. I mean, people think these central bank digital currencies are going to be a big deal. They're really not very different from the current currencies because they are, after all, centralized and their supply is run by the government, by the central bank and the government. That. So it's just more consolidation of power, and I think the dangerous thing.
No, what you're saying is they can't do it. The Fed cannot do it, or the Treasury and the government can't do it.
I think they can produce shitcoin, but they cannot produce something that competes with Bitcoin.
Right.
They can't because the whole point of having a central bank is that you want to control the money supply, and you want to give the government control over payment clearance.
All right, boys. So let's continue watching this video. Make sure you listen to these next key points.
Away from the government and puts them in code. Bitcoin is just using software to replace all of that stuff. And so if you use software to replace that, it's just a far more efficient way of doing it. And that's ultimately why I remain optimistic about Bitcoin, because it's not a competitor. It's not a company that's out there saying, hey, we're going to put the US government's central bank out of business and offer software solution instead of it. It's not Uber. There's no CEO. It's a software solution. It's an open source software solution that anybody can adopt.
I understand that. I just want to, but that's why I own it. The other thing too is the complaint, which took me a while to get over. Was it in 2017, that Bitcoin hit 20K, I think, around there.
Yeah.
And it crashed down to what, 300 or something?
To 3,000.
3,000. Mm-hmm. And then when I talk to guys like Raoul Pal and all that, other guys who know about the Bitcoin phenomenon, they say what happened in 2017 was there was no money behind Bitcoin. He says in 2020, there's money behind it now. And Raoul Pal says there's a wall of money behind it now.
Yes. And also, Robert, you're a mining guy, so you should, you'll appreciate this. The Bitcoin supply, the mining of Bitcoin currently happens at a rate of 900 coins a day. Up until May this year, it used to happen at 1,800 coins a day. And 4 years before that, it was 3,600. And then before that, the 4 years before that was 7,200. So every 4 years, the new supply of Bitcoin drops by half.
Yeah. So this is my question to you, okay? So next question is, so let's say it gets down to just 21 million coins. That's it.
Yep.
How do 21 million coins supply the world economy with money?
It's not a problem. There's the supply of money does not matter. Money is what matters is its purchasing power, and you can fit infinite purchasing power into each Bitcoin. So each Bitcoin is divisible into 100 million Satoshis. And the way that Bitcoin solves this problem is the same way that Bitcoin scales, is the same way that Bitcoin can take on more value. It's what we like to call the number go up technology. As the price of Bitcoin rises, the volume of Bitcoin trades rises, and the amount of money that Bitcoin holds rises, and the value of each Satoshi rises, and it becomes a bigger market. You don't need more money. You don't need inflation. You don't need the supply to increase. In fact,
so let me ask this question, okay? Because this is where I'm really stupid on this whole thing. So let's say Bitcoin hits 100,000, which Max Kaiser says it will next week or something. How does a person making $15 an hour afford $100,000 Bitcoin?
You don't need a whole Bitcoin. There's only 21 million. The vast majority of people would never get to own one whole Bitcoin.
So you can slice and dice a Bitcoin just like the dollar slices and dices down to a penny?
Yes, but a Bitcoin is sliced down, a dollar is 100 pennies, a Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. So we can keep slicing down, in several years, it's just going to be unheard of for most people to think about owning a whole Bitcoin, because a whole Bitcoin will be something like, think about the 400-ounce gold bar. That's what one Bitcoin is like. So you don't have to own a whole one in order to use gold. You can buy a tiny little gold coin.
Right. So anyway, this is making a little bit more sense. And the other thing I heard, because that's why I want to clear with you, because I just hear, I'm constantly on YouTube listening to all you whack jobs who are Bitcoin fanatics out there. No, I like it. And then I have to listen to Schiff in my other ear. You know what I mean? It's just entertainment to me. But I still buy the crap out of it, and it's somewhere along the line, when I make enough money, I don't really care. I just get richer and richer and richer. I sit there going, what the hell is going to happen? You guys are going to change the world. if you can really solve this problem of fake money. I wrote a book called Fake Money, Fake Teachers, Fake Assets. And
Yes,
that's the reason I own silver and gold and now
absolutely.
Bitcoin. Okay.
Actually, my next book, which I'm working on right now, which you can subscribe to if you go to my website, saifedean.com, is called The Fiat Standard. It is the sequel to the Bitcoin standard, and it's about essentially that, the fiat world, the world of fiat food, which is fake food, fiat family, fiat everything. The fake money just creates a fake world around it because it allows the people who create new money from nowhere to bestow economic value on things that are worthless. And that just disturbs the entire process of economic calculation and economic planning for everybody else.
Good. So this is my question to you. Okay, one of the reasons I don't like gold and silver ETFs, they're fake.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't know if there's really gold or silver behind of it. And now I'm hearing more and more that Bitcoin guys are coming up with fake Bitcoin or paper Bitcoin, like an ETF or something like a coin. Is that happening?
Potentially. I mean, I don't know of any particular, so I can't really say it is happening, but I would assume it might be happening somewhere or the other. However, Bitcoin really is a verification technology. If you want to understand what Bitcoin does, it's just a process of meticulous, astoundingly complicated verification where everybody's verifying everything. Yeah, specifically verification. So the way that you join the network is that you verify what everybody else is doing. Every 10 minutes, everyone checks everybody else's balances, and everybody checks to make sure that all the coins are in order and that the ownership is with the person who, or with the address that that should have them. So you're constantly verifying the supply. Anytime you go on the Bitcoin network, you can check exactly how many coins there are, and you can find out where and how they're distributed. So it is really the...
But aren't some people now offering, if I give them my Bitcoin, they'll pay me interest for it?
Well, yeah. So what happens now is so you can own your own Bitcoin. If you own your private keys, then you have your own Bitcoins on the network. And that is the equivalent of holding your own physical bars of gold with your own hands.
Okay, brother. So we're going to dive into the next half of the video towards the end, because the next part, they just go into why you shouldn't be buying those, gold and silver ETFs, and how you can always track how much Bitcoin you own within your wallet, within your keys. But that's not really the point of the video I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get out to why you should be buying Bitcoin and why it's going to be a great investment. So let's dive into the later of the video.
One last thing, okay? I also heard because Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin goes to $500,000 a coin, that it's only going to be used for major purposes like businesses and stuff like that, whereas the Satoshis will be for trading independently. Would you say that's true?
I mean, that's just a matter of units. I think, yeah, for most things, because one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. So if Bitcoin is worth, say, $1 million, it's not every day that you're going to be denominating transactions in Bitcoin. You're not going to quote your lunch in 0.0000037 Bitcoin. You're just going to use...
Right. So the reason I'm bullish on Bitcoin is because of everything you've said, but also I don't trust the dollar at all. But I've been buying it. I didn't buy it at 3,000. I'm buying it at 9,000. I'm doing pretty good. I have a lot of it, But eventually, it's going to allow me to make major purchases that I wouldn't have been able to do had I saved $9,000 US, right? I mean, isn't that kind of the...
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the way that it's evolving, if it continues to work the same way, just because it is harder money, is that people whose value is parked in the harder money will appreciate, and people whose value is parked in the easier money will depreciate. So essentially, we're going to see the dollar-based economy
invest in the right assets,
shrink as a part of the pie, and Bitcoin grow as a part of the pie. Currently, Bitcoin is like 0.3% of the global money supply. So it's still 2%. A little, well, not a drop in a bucket, a drop in a cup. But it could grow. If it grows further, it just becomes a more significant part of that cup. And who knows? Maybe it becomes the whole cup one day.
Good. So I want to have you back on as this thing progresses and all that. Let me give you the website, SAIFE.
All right, brother. So that is the full explanation from one of the best-selling authors and Robert Kiyosaki, a great financial investor and entrepreneur. Again, I appreciate you stopping by Brotherhood Finance. Please leave a like and subscribe. We're going to have our links to Coinbase in the description below. We'll have some videos up recently. If you have any questions about how to get started or what questions you have about cryptocurrencies, please leave them down below and check out our other video if you'd like to do so. Furthermore, brothers, I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.